Hello composers, Mike here. Let's check out the new Century Brass bundle by 8dio right now. So let's start by playing this short example I composed using only instruments from Century Brass except this string harmony track on top. I will play this through and then we will dive in and I will show you my favorite aspects of this sample library. Playing in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let me just quickly show you what I have here. So the first track is Cinematic Strings 2 with a sustain chords progression going on here. But except for that, we have first the light version of this library, just to get some arcs going on here. So those sound like this. Which means you get that natural dynamic motion going because it's actually recorded like that. So I have chosen the long arcs for this, and you can even control the release tail. Then I have a solo tuba, so there's no ensemble tuba, but you get the solo part of the library where you have the tuba, euphonium, and stuff like that. Just a simple sustain in this case. Then some dynamic motion here, of course. And then I double that with a solo bass trombone. An octave above. And that is legato. And then comes the leading melody. So there's actually 2 horns, 6 horns, and 12 horns. I've chosen the 6 horns patch for this. You can see I actually included some small gaps here because the players need to breathe, and then I dive down the dynamics just before the ending of that note so they can continue to the next one. And this is the legato preset here, and that is actually my favorite part of this entire brass library. The legatos, especially on the horns and trumpets, sound amazing. Then we have the 3 trombones where I used a sustain vibrato with some dynamic movement like this. You hear that little vibrato going on, adding some character. And then 4 trumpets. I believe they have 2 trumpets as well. So that sounds like this. Legato as well. You can really hear that beautiful legato transition between each note. And of course, you need to add some gaps, which are the same as on the 6 horns patch here. So once again, the total sound. Let's remove the strings just so you can hear. Really has that majestic, noble sound. Especially since I'm basically using the mixed microphone positions here, A, on most of them. I believe you can actually switch out to the B if you want on, for example, the trumpets. Or where are you? Trumpets there. Let's push those to the B. Show more in the back. I actually prefer that. So let's now dive in and I will show you my favorite aspects of New Century Brass 2.0, the entire bundle. So my first favorite aspect is the flexible mapping system. If you take a look here, I open up the Horns 6 patch, and the only thing I have loaded here is legato and staccato. So you can, of course, empty this slot if you want to and reduce the RAM usage. And if you take a look, if I just use, let's say, staccatissimo here, it's only using 26 megabytes. Of course, the legato is longer, but this way you can actually apply the key switches, just double click and choose from all the articulations. set the key switches as you wish right here, or if you prefer, you can click this and use CC values, and that I really love because I'm actually not a fan of key switches. I generally hate using them. I much prefer to use modulation with faders and such. So that is my first favorite aspect. The next one is ensemble and solo, meaning that this bundle actually includes both solo instruments. So if we go into this, you can see this is the bundle, this is solo, or this is the ensemble, solo, and the light. So ensemble, you get 12 horns, 6 horns, 2 horns, 3 trombones, 2 trumpets, and 4 trumpets. And you can also load them as individual articulations here. So no tubas in the sections here, so that might be a downside, if you will. But usually I just use a solo tuba anyway. So if you go into the solo here, you can see you have bass trombone solo here, cimbasso, flugelhorn, French horn, trombone, trumpet, and here's the tuba. And the same mapping system, of course, applies to the solo and the ensemble. Right, so next, my next favorite aspect is lots of articulations. I mean, just take a look at this. If I double click here, okay, so this is the solo library. The solo library has fewer articulations, but if you take a look, let's take a look what we have then. So they have this, so no mutes as you can see, but you generally get the standard articulations here. I mean, you have staccatissimo, staccato, marked shorts. I believe it might be because of it's a tuba. I will check the bass trombone and see if we have more here. No, it's the same. Okay, so you don't have any mutes and such. But if you go to the ensemble patches, which I use the most, and check here, double click. I mean, look at this. So many articulations, both core and muted articulations. I mean, you get the short notes, staccatissimo, staccato, fanfare, shorts, marcato short, soaring short, and so on. And lots of dynamic articulations such as arcs, crescendos. You can even get double tongue and triple tongue if you want to do those super fast triplets and such. And my next favorite aspect is the mixer settings. I mean, it's so easy to just switch between. Let's see if we can get some sound here. Where are we? The horns, right? Okay, so that is the A mix, then the B mix. So there's a slight difference, is a bit deeper, richer sound stage here. But if you prefer, you can just go and load up the close mics, the deca, and the wide. And then set your mixer settings as you want them. Which gives you, of course, great control. You also have equalizer, convolution, reverb, and so on. So mixer settings, you have lots of options. And finally, my fifth favorite aspect is the user control. Not only the mixer and articulation, but look at this. You have the dynamics, of course, the most important, from PP to FF. So if I move the mod wheel while I play here, you can see from PPP. You can also change the expression here with an either fader. So using both at the same time gives you great sound design capabilities for the dynamics and level. You also have a speed control, which I believe changes the legato speed. Release tail, and on some patches you can even control the vibrato, and you also have a volume fader here or knob for the legato volume. So increase that to the max. So you really hear that lyrical legato. Alright, so those are all my favorite aspects. So some of the downsides or constructive feedback I would say is one being when I set this to CC values, which I prefer, I would love to be able to set the range. So let's say I'm using legato here for CC, let's say from 1 to 40 or something. Now I cannot do that, it just gets auto-assigned. So if I choose the next one here, I have these two ranges and they are still on the lower side for the fader I have chosen here. I also didn't find a way to just quickly auto-map this, so you have to actually hold down and change like this, which can be a bit tedious. I just want to click there and then drag a fader which is already sending on, let's say, CC3 or whatever you want to use for it. And I also mentioned that you don't get any tubas. Let's see, if we go into the bundle here, you have the 3 patches of horns, 1 with trombones and 2 with trumpets, which is okay. I would love to have some like 2 tubas or 4 tubas there as well for those really mean sounding low brass in your compositions. But other than that, my final thoughts after using this library for a while is that it is a complete library. You get basically all the core articulations. And this bundle, you get both the ensemble and the solo. And by the way, let me show this as well. You actually get a light version, which is just an ensemble brass light. So you can actually play the full brass. So in this case, I use that for the arc longs here. But I mean, you get all these articulations just for an ensemble brass patch, which can be real great for mock-ups or just a backing track like I have here. Oops, I changed the articulation by accident there. But that is a great patch to have as well. So if you want to learn more, I will include a link in the description so you can check out this new Century Brass library by Educator and see if this is something that you want to add to your composer toolkit. Do you want to get new and powerful sounds to use in your music? Do you want to level up your skills in music composition, production, and sound design? Then take action and check out the links and special deals in the video description.